And here we are back in for more League of Legends. SMSU taking on Kansas State today. And the draft is done. We are getting into the map now. SMSU draft in Sion, Belvath, Ari, Swain, and Seraphine versus Mordekaiser, Zach, Riven, and then Zaya Rakan in the bot lane here. Should be kind of an interesting matchup. Both teams pretty close in skill rankings. So it should be interesting to see what happens. SMSU have been really favoring this Swain. They get it like first pick every series, and it seems like they get a win with it every time. And then it gets taken away and the series gets much more difficult for them. But we will see what happens here. Riven going aggressive pretty early here. Ari trying to trade back, trading fairly even. Ari maybe getting a slightly worse end of that trade. But SMSU are still doing fine there in the mid lane. Getting a little bit of a CS advantage. Not much going on in the map right now. The Sion Mordekaiser matchup should be slightly Mordekaiser favored, but Sion should be able to live through it here. Should be able to start team fighting earlier. SMSU trying to farm up in this bot lane. Sion getting some early damage onto the Mordekaiser, but the Mordekaiser lands all of his spells, and Sion actually gets the worst of that trade. Not by too much, though. Already falling behind a few CS, but not a big deal.
Let's run.
Mordekaiser again landing that pullback. Sion charging up, able to get the stun off, but does again lose that trade slightly. Ari landing the charm under Riven, getting Riven pretty low here. Belvath looking for some information into the enemy jungle. Finds out that that camp is down. Riven goes in aggressive, does a lot of damage, but it's getting pretty low now. SMSU still doing fine in the bottom lane. Equal in CS now starting to push them in. Riven going to go for a back as Mordekaiser roaming down towards mid here. Maybe getting on this scuttle crab by the looks of it. Directed camera, really interested in seeing this bot lane, and there we will see Zach securing that scuttle crab, and SMSU, I think they saw him there. They should know that the Zach was leaning topside. Now the Zach gank looks to be coming into Sion here, but gets spotted out by a ward, a well-timed ward being placed by Sion there. Sion is taken a little low, but he has his shield here. And Belvath cutting off that Zach from being able to go up and help in the top lane. Ari now taking a decent sized CS lead in the middle, but she has not backed, and she's going to go for her back now. So we'll see if Riven's able to equalize that. Nope, Ari deciding does not want to give up that CS lead, staying in lane. Sion trying to farm safely here. Knows he's taking a decent punish on a few engages. And the Riven comes into mid. Ari has to flash out. And that's probably going to be a repeat gank coming fairly soon. Ari deciding to stay, trying to clean up this wave. And it gets it shoved into tower. So now we are going to see Ari back here. Riven might go for the interrupt on it, but a very good time for Ari to get it back, and we're actually going to see some pings going out for Dragon here from Kansas State. Rakan trying to get vision control of it. SMSU now know that Rakan's there. Ari TPing back to lane. This might be a 3-man gank onto Ari as they pull their support up to grab Scuttle here. But no, both are gonna head towards bottom here. SMSU aware of this situation, maybe not. Zach gonna come across. SMSU already under tower though. Zach now just wasting time. Swain does hit that, doing quite a bit of damage, but not quite in tower range, unfortunately. Mordekaiser doing a lot of damage to Cyan up here in the top. Are you going to go ahead and clear out this pink ward? And Ari now has the better item buy. Getting a little bit late on that back. And Riven taking quite a bit of damage there. Here comes the Rakan flash into middle. Lands the combo, but Riven's not there. A little bit of a wasted flash from the support of Kansas. And Ari goes aggressive, but gets flashed on. And drops very quickly. Now, Manoka trying to get out here. And SMSU are able to get out.
Leave no stone unbroken. Prepare.
SMSU resetting a little bit here. That was a pretty painful first blood for SMSU. It looked like they had control mid there. Giving up that kill. Pretty frustrating. And Cyan trying to flash out here. Mordekaiser going for the kill, and Cyan is going to drop. Cyan not expecting that much damage coming out from Mordekaiser this early.
Gotcha.
Pajama's trying to get out from this Riven. Riven now clearing out vision control in river. Ari trying to get this lane pushed up before Riven gets back. And SMSU, are they going to see this Rift Herald play? I think it's going to be too late. And yep, Kansas State able to secure that very early here. And Kansas State has been much more active on the map so far. We've seen this Rakan roam quite a bit. And the Zac gang coming into Cyan here. Trying to live here under tower. Mordekaiser taking a lot of damage. And that tower does big punishment. Cyan almost gets the kill there. And SMSU, on the other hand, securing the scuttle down here towards the bot lane. Swain doing good damage. And this is the time where Swain starts to be a really strong character. Level 6, starting to get a little bit extra tanky here. Has that ultimate available.
Feel this. Let's run.
Ari trying to safely farm here, but this Riven is just so aggressive. Pajama's taken a little low here. Riven deciding not to ult. And now we see Kansas State starting up the dragon. SMSU see it from the get-go here. Riven takes a little bit of damage there. And Riven dodging out that stun. SMSU, they're going to give up the dragon, actually. Deciding they cannot fight this. And there's Mordekaiser TPing back to the top lane. SMSU trying to clear out this pink. A lot of pink wards being left behind by Kansas State here. Something they've definitely been doing a lot better than SMSU is using those pink wards. Mordekaiser going for another fight onto Sion. Sion trying to walk out. Mordekaiser missing some skills there. Looks like Sion won that engagement. Not much going on the map still. SMSU has conceded all the objectives that have been started over to Kansas State so far. Had a big engage onto Pajamas here, but Pajamas dishing back the damage. Rakan missing that engage. Still not much has happened on the map. Belvath maybe getting seen by this Riven Zac combo. And Ari backs off actually just in time, as this Zac was looking for a gank on the mid. And here comes the gank though. Ari does not see it coming and doesn't get ulted out in time, and this is going to be Rift Herald crashing into this lane again. And that's that Rakan having roamed 2 or 3 times more than the Seraphine so far. Swain trying to get some damage dealt, but here comes the engage from the support. Dodges that, and that dodge keeps him alive. A great job from Swain to make sure to avoid that. But SMSU now falling behind in the gold value by about 1,800 here. And SMSU going to go for a back on their bot lane here. Still not much going on the map currently. And still not much going on the map. Rakan is again more aggressive on the map. Ari landing that charm, avoiding the stun from Riven there. If this Rakan's gone from bottom so long, SMSU need to be forcing this bottom turret or something. This map is not being utilized very well from SMSU. Rift Herald gets started up here, and SMSU still not in position to defend it. Now they're looking forward, but no one on SMSU has the confidence to walk forward here. Swain doing some damage in bot lane, getting the Xayah ult here. Used defensively to avoid some of those Swain abilities. SMSU catching Riven with some charms here. Maybe able to pick the kill with the flash out. SMSU now turning their focus onto Zach, now turning their focus onto Rakan. And they are able to get their first kill of the game onto that Rakan. Sion gets ulted by Mordekaiser in this top lane, just trying to live by the looks of it. Gets the flash, and he's gonna need to ult out maybe. Nope, is able just to survive. And he's doing a good job staying even in CS, but this Mordekaiser is bullying him off. SMSU almost pick up a kill on that Riven, and SMSU turns their focus over to the Dragon after that, and they are able to pick up the second Dragon of the game and bring this game quite a bit closer than it was. Good job from SMSU, utilizing some of those catch-up mechanics here. And finding a bunch of pink wards again, clearing out this vision. Looks like kind of a reset on the map. Both teams get backs off here. SMSU spending some of that gold. Now Swain and Ahri hitting some power spikes here. Riven also having hit their first item. Looks like everyone has their first item complete. Swain taking those free stacks, and Ahri going aggressive onto this Rakan here, and Riven jumps over the wall. SMSU still able to pick up the kill. And now Riven on the run. SMSU trying to find the damage under Riven. Riven missing all the skills because of the mobility of Ahri here. And here comes Zaya up to save the Rakan. Here comes Swain though. Maybe able to catch them off guard. Maybe able to hit them with a slow here. Minoka coming across as well. But they both get out, and SMSU getting pressured on the top lane now. That Rift Herald gets dropped top, and Sion realizes that tower's dead. They need to get out. Meanwhile, SMSU going to try to trade the mid tower for it. And it looks like they'll get that trade. SMSU, okay, they should be pretty happy with that. That's not a bad trade, but Rift Herald might be crashing into this tier 2. And the eye never exposes itself. Rift Herald going to take a decent chunk out of that tier 2. But Sion will be fine clearing that out here. Swain looking for that tier 1 in bottom, but understands people can be resetting. A little bit of an engage there, but SMSU are able to stay alive. Sion clearing another pink ward. SMSU trying to get a reset off here. Seraphine holding on to that mid lane. Swain dealing some damage back, but the Zac is in the flank here. Swain sees it, but gets hit by it. Tries to pop ult in order to deal some damage back and get some healing. The Zaya ult comes out. Gaia Fail goes aggressive though. Does a lot of damage, but he does pick up the kill, and he lives. He's trying to keep the Zac from being able to reset here. SMSU trying to put the CC down, but he is able to jump out. Gaia Fail winning that engagement in a 2 versus 1, and that's why SMSU picked that Swain. Very strong at being able to deal with just a couple members. Can be bursted down in team fights, but in a lot of those 2 versus 2 fights, he gets very tanky. And Swain is starting to win some of these Sion's starting to win some of these engagements in top. Not at least losing as hard as he was, but the Mordekaiser ult is still available. Sion needs to ult soon. And SMSU unable to win that fight, unfortunately. Sion stayed in for a little bit too long there. And Cloud Drake up in 1 minute. That will probably be the next fighting ground. The gold looking relatively even here, within 1,000 gold right now. Still could be anyone's game. Towers are equalized. This might be slightly in favor of SMSU if it goes late. This Belvath really enjoying getting a lot of items on this type of character. Really wants to farm up. But that Mordekaiser could be more and more of a problem as the game continues. SMSU hitting some engagement on to these players, but that Mordekaiser just does so much damage. Scion roaming down here, and we are going to have a team fight for this dragon by the looks of it. Pajamas trying to clear out some ward coverage here. Gaiafail trying to make sure he gets out before this flank comes in. Riven going for the flash engage, but Ari comes to save the day. Gets a lot of damage dealt, but massive damage. Wombo combo coming out from Kansas State here. SMSU are going to need to run away from this fight as they lose. Oh, they lost 3. Okay. Scion was still alive in his passive. SMSU, they might be able to take out another, though, if they can find a little bit of poke onto these members. This is starting to look scary for Kansas State. SMSU can wait on their cooldowns. And Kansas State gonna back off from the dragon and just take the advantage of getting 2 additional kills. SMSU constantly threatening this dragon, but here, Riven respawns and TPs in. Looking at this from the flank. Riven getting onto Gaiafail. Gaiafail trying to live here. Trying to kite this out. And SMSU, they are able to pick up the Xayah here. Now the Mordekaiser gets TP'd in as well. SMSU have 5, but the Zac is on his way. SMSU trying to get this dragon down before the Zac gets here. Zac charging up, and SMSU are able to secure that dragon. Now Ari getting engaged on by the Zac. Belvath jumping over to try to help out here. Damage onto the Mordekaiser is big, but both teams backing off from this fight, and SMSU probably slightly getting the advantage there. It's hard to say exactly. Swain just becoming so hard to kill, and he's working on getting that Zonius too, so that type of engage just has no effect on him. Meanwhile, SMSU, they do pick up the bot lane turret just due to minion pressure. SMSU doing a good job prepping those waves. Now a little bit of a reset happening from both teams here. SMSU trying to secure the scuttle, but it might be dangerous. Minoka realizes that. Falls off here. Really kind of wants this smite, but realizes how many characters are there. Riven matching Ari down in the bottom, and Riven going aggressive. Ari misses charm. Gonna need to get out now. A lot of damage traded. Both ults traded. Ari gonna probably try to back here. Riven gonna look for a push into this bottom turret now. SMSU starting up their buffs here, trying to get some basic control on the map. But Scion is a little surrounded here. He should see this Rakan on that ward falling off here. Gonna go ahead and clear that ward himself. Seraphine going for a back. SMSU pretty scattered backs right now. SMSU may be collapsing on this Riven. But Riven sees it coming, able to get out. Scion and Mordekaiser again fighting top. This time, though, the support from Kansas comes up, and Scion just ults right out of there.
Let's run.
Already back, trying to pressure this turret.
Light on my feet.
And Riven takes quite a bit of poke from this Ahri. And now Riven almost can't fight this. Mordekaiser going for the back. SMSU might be wondering if Ahri is about to get 4 to 5 man ganked here. But Minoka, knowing that they've backed, going to go ahead and start the Baron. And this is under vision. SMSU are probably not aware of this. Ahri's not even there. And here comes the TP in. SMSU see it coming. They're backing off. And they are able to force out that Riven TP if they can all get out safely here. This will be very good. But Riven gets a massive stun onto 3. SMSU taking a lot of damage. Swain trying to flash out. Is able to get out here, but SMSU dropped very low. Swain gets pulled forward again. And they're trying to do damage in between these turrets. Minoka looking for the engage maybe. Ahri onto that bottom tier 2 turret this whole time. Minoka gets ulted by the Mordekaiser. And kiting it out fairly well. Does drop eventually, but they might be able to trade the Mordekaiser. Not quite. The Riven now back into the back line. Ahri TPing in, picks up the Mordekaiser, and trying to pick up the rest of this team fight here. Ahri looking at disrupting this Baron. Does a lot of damage. Is able to pick up the support, but now the AD carries onto her. Gets the damage, but not enough. And kind of even trades there. It's hard to say exactly, as SMSU did secure the bottom turret during all that. And nobody strong enough to start Baron. SMSU going to walk down towards Dragon. Belvath is coming up now. Zach is starting a recall. And SMSU going to try to secure this scuttle for a little easier time on this Dragon. But Gaia fails low on mana and a little low on HP. Probably should have gotten a back off here. Is going to go ahead and start the Dragon. SMSU may be trying to burst this down before they get here. But Riven's already here. A lot of members from Kansas State are already here. SMSU are going to have to give this Dragon away. Scion having gone top, Swain not having backed. But does Kansas State know that SMSU are recalling? No Dragon start. SMSU trying to defend the mid tower instead. Zach getting a stun off the creep. Already looking for a counter engage here. Has to blow ult. SMSU doing good damage to this Mordekaiser, but Mordekaiser still alive. Riven gets a big engage onto the support. SMSU gonna walk out down 1, but now the rest of their team's here. Can they finish off any of these kills? Ahri looking for an aggressive charm by the looks of it. SMSU gonna go ahead and start the Dragon, knowing they have a slight HP advantage even though they're down 1 member. Zach charges up and gets the engage off. SMSU, they get engaged on hard. Gaia fail doing good damage though and staying alive in the middle of things. Why did my camera go over there? And SMSU, they lose Minoka, they lose Gaia fail. Swinging it and taking very low. Pajama's the only one left. Is able to dodge out that Riven play and pick up the kill onto it. Seraphine is getting close here. Ahri hitting some damage, but running low on mana here. Seraphine trying to help out. But I think this is Dragon given away as Pajamas is completely out of mana. And SMSU definitely losing that team fight. being a little risky there, trying to start it without all their members. And now we will see a reset come out from both teams. Already starting to feel very big for SMSU. But that Riven just blew up Seraphine in that last fight. Swain gets fed the blue buff here. Cyan building Force of Nature here. Feeling very, very tanky with that Heartsteel Force of Nature buy. Into Merc Treads. A lot of magic resist. Will get kind of shredded by Riven and Zaya, but does have a lot of defenses versus Mordekaiser and Zac. SMSU clearing out a bunch of the wards left by Kansas State. And SMSU may be looking at this top lane tower as their next objective.
Just for you.
SMSU don't really want to hit this manually, as that could have happened, that Zac charge up. But now SMSU trying to assert some vision control. And a charm lands onto Zac, but that's not really the target they want. They are going in for it, though. They pop the passive. Ari doing a lot of damage here. And they are able to pick up that Zac, actually. And that might turn straight into Baron. They're going to go ahead and start it. Scion losing this bot lane engage, but is able to stay alive. Now SMSU bursting down this Baron, and it looks like Kansas State is going to give it up. Riven finishes the turret. Looking aggressive here. Onto Scion. Doing a lot of damage. Scion needs to get out if he can. And unable to, but they are able to secure the Baron. And SMSU, they use that Baron to secure that top turret, but Belvath is walking forward by herself. Needs to see that team is no longer here and get out. Cyan does have teleport available when he respawns 23 seconds. Belvath looking for a little bit, but unable to find anything onto Zac. Belvath doing a lot of damage into Riven as Riven tries to escape here. And here comes Cyan respawning. And Swain lands that poke onto the Mordekaiser. Can be very annoying. Ari trying to deal with this Riven. Riven going in. Gets the ult out of both of them. And that's Riven's slash gone. SMSU setting up a split push in all three lanes. Little risky here. They don't have great vision control. Belvath is probably going to get caught out here. Trying to run through the lane. SMSU, they're engaging mid though. This is actually going to work out just fine. Gaiafail versus Mordekaiser now in the middle. Gaiafail taken pretty low here. Gets the Zonias off though at the end. Getting healed up a lot. SMSU doing pretty well in this team fight so far. It's hard to see exactly who's winning. And SMSU TPing in on the Ari now. Ari misses the charm though. And SMSU, they lose 2. They are able to pick up 1. but they're still very healthy, and they're trying to chase down these last kills. And they aren't able to pick up any of them. They are able to pick up the mid inhibitor turret, however, from this Baron buff, constantly pressuring, and a snare onto Zac, but they're unable to capitalize on it. Ahri had to back. Now SMSU outnumbered pretty hard in this mid. They got to be a little careful. Oh, they did pick up one more kill there. I didn't see how that kill. Maybe the burn coming out from Swain. And with that, they're able to finish off this inhibitor by the looks of it. SMSU with a big push there, getting a big advantage as 2 turrets and an inhibitor go down, and they're able to start the dragon, and it doesn't look like Kansas State is going to be able to get here to stop this dragon play. SMSU maneuvering them on the map pretty well.
Just for you.
And SMSU going to use those drakes to rotate faster on the map here. Out of combat movement speed can be pretty good in this game, as well as some slow resistance. Slows coming out from the Rylai's, coming out from the Rakan, coming out from the Zac here. SMSU trying to get split push set up in multiple lanes again. Minoka might get collapsed on, but does see the collapse coming. Ahri hopefully doesn't walk into this Riven. Sees that from the red trinket, is able to get out. Riven downwind slash now. Pajamas trying to heal up. Swain dealing some damage here, a little bit of poke, but they need to wait for this Ahri to get in position, and SMSU and Saleli getting caught out a little bit, and here comes the engage. Ahri is TPing in, but where's this TP coming in at? No, she's recalling. She's starting to fight it again, and SMSU, are they able to win this fight in a 4 versus 5? Swain taking a lot of damage here. Ahri now pushing onto that turret. That Swain Scion passive able to do quite a bit. Gaiaphil gets baited in a little bit here, but he's delaying. Ahri's finishing the inhibitor while this is going on. Gaiaphil just trying to buy as much time as possible. Buys a lot of time. Wait, does he get out? And he's able to turn this around as they have to go back for Ahri. He lives. Oh, hopefully sees this Riven coming. Needs a slow on himself here. Oh no, gets caught up by the Riven. Gets a little too greedy, but SMSU takes all 3 inhibitors and a Nexus Tower. That should be kind of spelling doom for Kansas State here. Even though they win the fight, it doesn't matter. SMSU should be able to start this Baron relatively safely and then have so much minion pressure that they can't lose. But we will see if Kansas State are able to push these lanes out enough to come to the Baron. SMSU just have to wait for their waves to push in. They don't have to start Baron. They're clearing that ward. They see this coming. SMSU does not want to fight. Oh, the charm onto the Zac here. And Zac taking a lot of damage. A charm onto the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser taking a lot. SMSU trying to kite out and kill this Mordekaiser now. Pajamas gets the kill and finishes off the Zac here. Able to dodge out, and here comes the Scion TP into the base. Trying to get some damage, trying to clear these minions. And SMSU are going to chase the left people. Scion doing so much damage. This is going to be game. SMSU winning game 1. Kind of a roller coaster fashion. And we'll be back shortly with game number 2. All right, and we are back. quite a bit different team compositions coming out in game number 2. SMSU going with Mordekaiser, Zin, Ari, which is from last game, Misfortune, and then Seraphine, so only 2 picks from last game. Meanwhile, Nasus, Volibear, Gragas, Zaya Rakan, 2 from last game as well. So this should be pretty interesting to see what happens. Quite a bit different. And one thing I'm noticing is there is not a ton of damage coming from that Kansas State team. It will be really interesting to see if they are able to make this type of team composition work. Gragas mid, a little bit interesting of a pick. You don't see it very often. Used to be a thing way back, but not very common anymore. Nasus probably going to be kind of the linchpin on which Kansas State needs to play around. If Nasus is able to get big this game, that could solve some of their damage problems. SMSU warding the red buff. That is going to be seen, but it doesn't matter if it's seen, as that will still give SMSU the information either way. Nobody on that red trinket to clear that ward out. Both junglers starting on their buffs here. And both junglers starting on the same side, so we'll see a little bit of a mirror match on that end. Ari playing very aggressive, seeing that barrel come out early. Nasus life stealing up a little bit there. But Mordekaiser should have the advantage as this lane progresses, as long as he does not get too many stacks. Gragas using his E forward there, not able to pick anything up. Mordekaiser just shoving this Nasus into tower here. Volibear looking for an early gank on Ari, and Ari not seeing it right away. Maybe he has to flash. Oh, SMSU actually going for the counter engage and forcing a flash out from Volibear. Zin not quite enough damage, but turns onto the Gragas, and SMSU get first blood on Xin Zhao. And Ari retains their flash there. Usually those type of ganks result in a mid laner flashing right away, and Pajamas knowing the limits of the character, and Xin Zhao getting the second kill, invading immediately after. Holy cow, such a great start for SMSU, and he's going to go ahead and steal away that buff. And that's why you don't want to go for ganks that are risky too early. Zen going to go ahead and get the third buff. Gragas going to clear out that ward, but SMSU has the information that he's there. Zen maybe going to look for a gank on top. No, not going to see Nasus pushed out far enough. Going to go ahead and get that scuttle instead. Make sure he maintains his lead. And he's going to go ahead and start blue buff right after here. Mordekaiser doing some bullying. Holy cows, this is maybe the character of the game, of the matchup. As last match, the Mordekaiser seemed to dominate that top lane, and SMSU starting off dominating the top lane with it as well. Rakan going in aggressive here, but Volibear is behind. And an unsuccessful gank for Volibear could be a bit of a problem here. Starting to fall behind in levels and CS. Xin Zhao up 11 CS right now. And has 2 kills. SMSU keeping the pressure on. Nasus taking some poke as the Mordekaiser hits the combo under turret. Already starting to look really aggressive. Nasus really not getting a lot of stacks in this top lane. And here comes the gank in middle again.
Delicious.
Ahri flashing this time. Xin isn't quite in position, a little bit behind the play. And he's going to go looking for the dragon maybe. Or looking for a bot lane gank here. This could be successful. Xin has the path, but forces, no, just an ability usage, no flashes. Keeps that bot lane on their toes though, and Xin now going to go ahead and start the dragon. Ahri going to go ahead and see the Volibear really early here. That gives SMSU great information. And Mordekaiser getting a back off here, as well as Nasus. Nasus going for the Lucidities. Not going to help him a lot in the trades, but going to help him stack up his Q faster. Elemental Horse maybe has an advantage now that could be very abusable. Those boots are not going to help Nasus a lot in these fights. But Mordekaiser misses everything. Has to flash. He needs to get his ult off here. He does get the ult off. And he's playing on the edge of it. Now Nasus doing some damage, but Volibear deciding to go for the dive. Volibear might drop here, and Elemental Horse gets the kill. And Volibear falling further and further behind now, as Xin Zhao is taking all of his jungle, hitting level 6. And no one to bail this Gragas out either. Xin would love for Volibear to come face check him now. Ooh, this might be a kill for Xin. Diving this Gragas in mid. Maybe he gets seen there. SMSU deciding to call it off. And Volibear noticing his jungle's been taken. Finds that pink ward, but again, just slowing down that jungle speed. He's got to clear that out. He checks. Gromp's gone. Got to walk across the jungle. And Mordekaiser is building a push in this top lane. Nasus went for another back, but he only picks up tier. Again, another thing that's not going to help him fight particularly well. Mordekaiser going for some information here. Oh, goes and uses an ability on the Rift Herald to gain some shield back. But Mordekaiser shouldn't be scared walking up here. Does not matter if Nasus has full health. He's down a level and down items. Trying to land that combo and unable to that time. Seraphine going for a little bit of a roam towards middle. There, landing the combo, doing a good 1/8 of Nasus' HP with that. Looks like SMSU are going to roam up and maybe do this Rift Herald. They brought their support up. Misfortune staying safe while SMSU brings another member over to start this. Will Kansas State decide to contest? Pajama's doing a good job keeping them off. I think this is just going to go SMSU's way. Yep. And They're deciding to give... They give it over to Mordekaiser so he can back quicker here. Mordekaiser waiting for full health. No TP available, so we'll need to run back to lane. Dragon coming up in a minute 13 here. And a big wave crashing in. No one able to get this. Nasus also going back towards top, so I don't think we'll see the top laners in this Dragon duel unless Mordekaiser pushes the lane out enough to go all the way down. Grog is hitting a little bit of the combo onto Pajamas. Pajamas is fine. Pushing this lane in here. Rakan really looking for this gank. And the charm lands. The Gragas ult comes out. Pajamas counters with an ult of his own. Now looking maybe aggressive. Doing a lot of damage to this Gragas. Seraphine is here. But the Volibear is here as well. Pajamas gets caught out. Gets a flash off. Is taking a lot of damage though and gets dropped. No one else here for SMSU in order to clean this up. Zen had a back. And unfortunately for SMSU, they're going to lose their mid laner there. A lot of summoners blown from both teams. And Gaia failed doing some damage, winning that trade. And I think that's going to prompt SMSU to start this dragon again. A big fight going on in the top lane. Mordekaiser having won that by the looks of it. Mordekaiser misses both skills though. And now the lifesteal from Nasus is going to matter here. Mordekaiser are going to go for a back. Minoka maybe looking for a bot lane gank here. Not much going on the map right now. Nasus is going to go ahead and recall. Nasus up to 177 stacks, so not bad coming out from the Nasus here, but they use the Rift Herald top. And they're able to pick up a bunch of extra gold onto the Mordekaiser. Nasus is starting to get tanky enough, though.
Light on my feet.
Ari doing a good job staying out of Gragas range and poking at this turret. SMSU maybe looking for a gank onto this Nasus. And they land! They should be able to pick up this kill onto Nasus. Struggling. There we go, SMSU. And maybe that rotating into the turret here. Zen going to go ahead and back. Volibear nowhere to be seen, but we'll see if Mordekaiser feels comfortable enough. Rakan comes mid, misses that gank. And SMSU really snowballing this game early, up about 3,000 gold here. Volibear comes all the way to top lane for Mordekaiser to realize that his combo does no damage to that Volibear. That shield, very efficient. Ari going to go ahead and get it back. Dragon up in 2 minutes. Nope. Ari going to decide to stay, actually. Mordekaiser going to be the one backing now. Grog is starting to run low on mana here. Rakan constantly looking for this gank mid. Rakan clearing the ward, but Ahri shouldn't have to be too worried. Grog is only 87 mana. SMSU going ahead and clearing out that pink in that pixel bush. And SMSU still chipping at this turret. Getting the charm onto Gragas.
Spotlight's yours.
Mordekaiser keeping a freeze going on in this top lane. Letting minions die to make sure Nasus doesn't get any extra farm. Volibear coming in for mid. Pajamas does not get his ult off in time. But it doesn't matter. He's going to try to get the kill on. Oh, gets too aggressive. Should have been out there. SMSU take the Rift Herald meanwhile. Nasus gets a stack, but they split up a little bit there. Minoka able to get onto the Nasus for relative free. And SMSU pick up a trade kill that should have never been possible. Gaia Fail is also starting to become a problem in this bot lane, doing a lot of damage and getting a lot of damage done to this turret. And both ults traded, but Gaia Fail! He's just barely in range still. SMSU are able to take that kill and gonna go ahead and get an easy timing back off. Nope, gonna decide to stay for the turret actually. And a lot of that CS also dying to the turret. Gaiafail getting engaged on by Rakan. Rakan doesn't have the damage though. Has to back away as SMSU also. They use the Rift Herald top. They get the mid turret with Ahri. And the Rift Herald is going to get a charge onto this this inhibitor turret. Here comes the engage onto Elemental Horse, but SMSU are able to disengage with that flash, and SMSU starting the dragon at the same time. They're just pulling them all over the map. They're picking up so many objectives. And this is a much, much cleaner game coming out from SMSU. They should be able to get this dragon before anyone can get here. And SMSU going for a full team reset here. Mordekaiser are going to go ahead and clear that pink right after it gets placed here. And Nasus just doesn't feel comfortable being here anymore. 255 stacks up on his Q. SMSU getting a good amount of poke here, but they don't want to overcommit. They're trying to get players in position here. SMSU may be looking for a gank onto this Gragas.
How sweet.
Gragas sees it coming though, gets back in time. Now Xin gets engaged on. A 3 versus 1 right away here, but he's able to live. He does so much damage. He's so far ahead. He actually picks up 1 kill and flashes aggressively as the rest of the team gets here. Nasus looking aggressive onto Ahri, but Ahri just so slippery. SMSU are able to take this turret by the looks of it. And Mordekaiser keeping that pressure off in top lane. Nasus trying to run back to stop the turret from being taken. But SMSU putting pressure on the other turrets here. And Mordekaiser safe to be up there. SMSU going to go ahead and pressure the first inhibitor. They're actually going to fall off here. Dragon up in 2 minutes 50 seconds. SMSU going to go ahead and reset. They realize they might be stretched a little bit too big, and sometimes taking the inhibitor too early can be a little bit of a detriment, as your lanes will push out and you lose some safety farm. Now we'll see SMSU regroup here, figure out exactly how they want to play this. Khan clearing SMSU's Baron vision. SMSU now setting up for Baron, putting Mordekaiser on the other side of the map. Going to start to generate pressure. Gragas going to have a tough time dealing with him, as he's down a full item. Ari gets a charm onto Volibear, but Volibear very tanky, hard to do too much damage there. Manoka may be looking aggressive now if this charm lands. Rakan dashing out to safety. Gragas trying to keep Mordekaiser off this inhibitor, and SMSU. Mordekaiser going to end up in a 2 versus 1. He ults right away, trying to fight this Volibear off. SMSU, he does get 1 kill, but he will be traded. SMSU has been on Baron this whole time, though. And SMSU are likely going to be able to finish it. They do. They get the finish, and they're looking for the Gragas. Gragas able to escape for now. Ari takes quite a bit of damage. The MF ult comes across, though. Zin looking aggressive. Oh, Zin really wanted that engage, but the safer play is the reset here. They got Baron. They got what they came for. 26 seconds on Dragon. And they should have Mordekaiser up for that. And now Baron going to give them even more control, more minion push onto these turrets. And they're able to take the last outer turret here. The last inner turret, I mean. Volibear maybe looking at an engage onto Ansel Ellie. Zin already on the Dragon here. Ari waiting in wake, trying to do some damage. Gragas taking half his health. Gets a little heal up from the passive, though. SMSU very quickly trying to fall down and secure this Dragon before they get here. And they do. They secure the Dragon, and here comes the team fight. Nasus taking quite a bit of damage. And they're able to pick up Volibear and Nasus. The charm onto Rakan there. Ari going very far forward, trying to finish this game quickly. The charm onto Gragas, gets the kill on Gragas. Oh, it was the Xayah that died, and that's an ace. SMSU should be able to end off that. Very well played from SMSU, playing to their team's strength, ensuring that Nasus does not get ahead, which was the only win condition coming out from Texas State here. Or Kansas State, not Texas State. And that will be it. That is the series. SMSU take it 2-0. And make sure to join us tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow we will not have the game streamed, actually. SMSU does have a League of Legends game, but they will not be on stream. But cheer them on from home, as SMSU have 2 weeks left in their season after this. And I hope that you join us next time. Have a good one. Bye.